Kia ora Aotearoa, and welcome to Kickstart. My name is Jacob and I'm super pumped to welcome you all back to episode 3 of our show. Here at Kickstart, we're all about, you guessed it, art. Today, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Millie and Kyron, who will start today's episode with an interview from author Mandy Hager, who is going to talk about her book, Lifted. I'll catch you guys later.
Jacob, where are you going?
I'm just going to go grab some popcorn.
All right then, well, we have a killer show lined up for you all today. First, we have Kapiti-based author Mandy Hager in the studio to talk about her new book, Lifted.
After that, we'll take a look at the Robert Saki's film Pike River, which is available to watch via Arrovision.
Finally, we're interviewing Kinsey from Welly, and we'll also take a look at a couple of her music videos as well.
We are delighted to welcome Mandy Hager into the studio today. Mandy, thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us all about your new book.
Well, it's not out yet. It's not due out to October. It's a weird science fiction-y speculative fiction, so it's set nearly 300 years in the future after catastrophic climate collapse, and also 73 years after an alien species begins orbiting the globe and picking off humans as well. So by the time the book starts, there's only about 6 million humans left on Earth. But it's around a young woman called Elora, who lives in basically a survival bunker that has been there since around now, and there's a 200,000 book library there, and she is the librarian. She's never been outside apart from the small place where she lives, and she suddenly gets a call that if she agrees to be lifted up to this alien spacecraft, she can perhaps stop them doing it. So that's kind of how the book starts.
That sounds awesome.
So it's really about why is the human race worthy of being saved, I guess. So looking at our behaviour and what's good about humanity and what has kind of led us down a broken path.
Very, very important question. What do you, like, this is clearly a very out there, you know, it's not based on anything I've ever read. It's very original. So what do you think was the original idea or the inspiration behind this?
I honestly can't tell you now. Quite often I get a little bit of an idea and I make a few notes, and then I'm working on something else and it just percolates in my mind. And then when I decide to focus on it, I start researching, and that kind of leads me in a new direction. But the main thing I had to figure out was what would this alien species be like, and I went through a whole lot of different ideas, and then the reason I bought this book is I came back to this painter who I really like, who's a New Zealand artist called Bill Hammond, and he has these amazing bird creatures that he painted, and I have a painting of his, a copy I have to say, but these are the bird creatures, and they've always really stuck in my mind. So these have become the aliens, the avians of my book. So they're these beautiful, slightly frightening creatures that are lifting us, picking us off, in order to get our pineal gland, which is a little gland in the back of our brain, which creates something called DMT, which is the same as ayahuasca, which gives people a hallucinogenic experience.
Wow.
So they're basically picking us off the same way that we might pick off bear bile. So it's also looking at the way, incidentally, that we treat creatures for random reasons, and then how do we feel when that happens to us.
That's so cool. I love how you've taken kind of inspiration from the creatures of another artist and kind of interpreted that in your own way.
They are such amazing paintings that when you enter a room with his paintings, they have such a presence, you feel like they really are real. So they've stayed with me for that reason.
That's so cool. Do you talk about the library? Do you prefer a physical copy of a book, like much more than a digital copy?
Yes, I do. To me, books are sort of precious objects, so I have hundreds of them. But I do have a Kindle as well, and I do read on Kindle if I'm travelling or something like that. But I prefer to have a book so that if there's a phrase I like, I can mark it, I can go back and read it, I can go back to that book and flick through it. So yeah, it is like a treasured object to me.
Wow.
For sure. What was the publishing process like for being in New Zealand?
It's very varied. I mean, I've been publishing for a long time now, and it's changed quite a lot. We've gone from a lot of publishers who had overseas, they were part of an overseas collective, but a lot of them have disappeared, and so we've got the rise of smaller publishers, but it's still pretty hard to get published here, and a lot of people now either self-publish or they do what's called hybrid publishing, where there are publishers who, if you contribute a bit of money, they'll do the editing and layout and distribution, but you're also contributing to the costs. So there's all sorts of different ways. It's about being really determined and sticking with it. Yeah,
that's so cool.
Well, final question. What is a piece of advice you'd give to other storytellers as a successful artist yourself?
Oh, sure. Write from the heart. Write about stuff you care about. I think writing's really hard, so why not actually write something that you feel really deeply about and try and move other people with it. And stick with it, because it's like anything, it's like learning an instrument. We can all write, but we can all probably make a sound out of a clarinet, but you have to kind of practice in order to make it beautiful.
Absolutely, that's
For
so
sure.
very true.
Mandy, thank you so much for coming in today to talk about your awesome work. So awesome to hear about all of the inspiration behind Lifted. You can find all of Mandy's books on a website, mandyhager.com, or you can follow her on Facebook.
Now on to our next topic of tonight's show. I bet most of us remember the heartbreaking event of Pike River back in 2010. 15 years later, we are gifted with the monumental movie of the event by the Dunedin director, Robert Sarkis. Tonight we'll be watching the trailer of Pike River to then talk about this Aotearoa-made film, thanks to Eurovision for this trailer.
Right, guys, listen up. Ben, you up with Joe?
Is it even legal?
17 yesterday!
They enjoying it down there?
Yeah, loving it. This is a good job for him. Don't go in tomorrow.
I have to. We're way behind.
You heard from the boys?
No, why?
There were 35 miners down in the mine. They don't know exactly what's happened at the moment.
There's been an explosion at the mine.
What happened up there?
Where are they going in? We need to make sure the recovery is safe.
Recovery?
All the men are dead.
We'll bring them home. Well, whatever it takes, we'll bring them home.
There are 28 families, all wanting the same thing. That the promise made to you is kept. That your men will not be abandoned.
I need my husband. He can't stay there. I need to bury him. I hate driving when it's like this.
You can stay in the bus if you want. I can't stop thinking about him. I can't leave him.
It was a workplace death.
Do you want to fight this? Are you for a judge?
In the matter now before the court, a decision has been made that this prosecution is not going to proceed.
The mine will be permanently sealed. That's the reality.
No one is going to go in there ever again.
So what are you going to do?
We're going to stop them. This is an occupation. We're not going anywhere. If we know how they died, we know who has to be accountable.
There's nothing up there, Mum, but you can't let go of it. I want the truth for my son, and I want justice. I would have given up a long time ago if it hadn't been for you.
So, what did we think of Pike River?
I really loved it personally. I loved watching the movie. I watched it recently because it's New Zealand history is what it is, and I think that's really important. A lot of New Zealand films are sort of based on our culture and our history. And this one was no different. It was really quite almost difficult to watch. I don't know if, like, I felt emotional watching it, and yeah, and it also allowed me to like learn a lot, because I didn't know about Pike River, very much about Pike River anyway, prior to like hearing about this movie. So it's sort of, in a way, I think it's like bringing it back into relevance and bringing it back into the spotlight, which is important because it's still an ongoing story, really. You know?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it. I've got absolutely no notes. I think it was a really beautiful way to portray such a tragic event that happened, you know, not too long ago. But I think it's brought, you know, like you were saying, it's brought light back to it, because particularly our generation, you know, Gen Z, we were quite young when it came out, and I don't think we would have, even if we knew about it, we wouldn't have understood the sadness and the depth of it, really. And that's why I think, you know, they on set, they had the real Anna Osborne and Sonia Rockhouse on set to kind of guide the two amazing actresses through the performance, just so they could be as true to their story as possible. And I think that's something New Zealand films do really well. They have people on set making sure it's as authentic as it can be, no matter what the topic is. I loved it.
The performances from Melanie Linsky and Robin
Malcolm,
yeah.
Robert Malcolm, so incredible. You could tell that they had put in a lot of effort into trying to understand the emotions going through both Anna and Sonia. I think I agree with what you said earlier, like the heaviness of watching it and just knowing that this is something that's been going on for years, affecting these families, and it's still going on now. And then having to revisit it through the making of this to share the story with people.
Absolutely. And I was just reminded something you said, Jacob, that my mother also watched this movie recently. And she said she wasn't aware of how it was about when they closed the mine off. She thought it was for safety reasons, and in the movie they sort of go into this where it was actually there was some accountability issues, and they were shutting it off partly because they didn't want to have to face the things that they did wrong, being the government and the company that ran the mine. So she didn't even realize that. So it's actually, even though she was there and you know, saw that going on, she still learned something from this movie. So I think it's, no matter who's watching it, it's going to educate people.
Yeah, something for everyone. Yeah, and it's a really beautiful thing. It's great. Yeah.
The cinematography as well. The lighting was so beautiful.
Magnificent, yeah.
And you could see, because they kind of captured New Zealand as well. Yeah. You can always tell when it's New Zealand in films.
Definitely, yeah.
And you can tell that they put in a lot of effort to show its beauty, but also kind of show the harm that it's caused.
Yeah, it was a great, like, you know, you could see it was difficult, but, you know, and it felt weird being that it is home and weird in that way. But I think we can all agree that you know, Pike River is such a powerful movie, and if you haven't seen this movie, you can check it out at revision.co.nz.
The Pike River families are still fighting for justice and accountability from the government and the mining companies. They want to see strong workplace safety laws that protect workers so that disasters like this never happen again. You can head to their Facebook page, Stand With Pike, to find out more and support their cause.
Now, moving on with tonight's episode of Kickstart, we're all supporting new and local artists. So up next, we're very, very lucky to have Kenzie from Welly in the studio to discuss her music. But first, let's take a look at her music video. Here's it, Hold Your Head.
I see my mother in you. I see the trouble and truth. I see the world as it shoots and it shoots. If I could shield you from the pain, I would take it for you. How you were raised was never safe. You keep your guard up. Your heart is hard done. As time ticked on, fam, I don't blame you. Wish I would have saved you from that side of the world. As you stand as a woman, I see that little girl with high hopes of discovering all your dreams, uncovering life's gifts. But you slipped and you missed the end of the trip, wanting to stay high. That push the pain down. You in the rain now. Please reach back when I offer around my hand. It ain't for return. You don't reply to my texts, and I know that you heard. I've not been around for ages. I've been putting in work, but no excuse. I wanna be better. Know that I care, 'cause she cares, 'cause I missed them and I wish you were here. Want you to win in this lifetime. I miss seeing your light shine. From the beginning, you lived with me. I wish that you were here. Wherever I go, I got you. Hide my fam and never show the film.
Welcome to Kickstart, Kenzie. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. So excited to have you here. You released your debut album, Greenstone Door, last year. Could you tell us a little bit about the process behind that?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be here in the capital. Greenstone Door, I produced it with my homie Troy Samuela. We went to music school together and studied audio engineering long before your time. And we made the album in Brisbane in 10 days in my room like 7 years ago. Dang. And I signed to Sony Australia and it got shelved and it sat there for like 7 years. So we released it untouched, and some songs feel like they still resonate, and some songs feel like Facebook posts that you're reading from 7 years ago. So yeah.
Awesome. So on the song we just listened to and the album itself, you go into some quite heavy topics. How do you feel when you're writing those, and how do you feel like sharing them with the world?
I think emotions are meant to be felt and then are meant to be released. 100%. And so for me, music is one of the many vehicles that allows me to process things that maybe my mind doesn't want to look at. Whatever happens from there, it's not up to me.
For sure. Now you post a lot of freestyling videos on your Instagram. Is that your preferred way of making music, or do you have other methods that you prefer?
I feel like with the freestyles, it allows me to create and release things in real time. So you know how I said with Greenstone Door, we made it and then we sat on it for like 7 years, right?
Yeah.
Some of the stuff was irrelevant by the time it was released to me. So I just like the feeling of being able to create stuff and release it, and because it's probably resonating with people feeling the same way at the same time. Sort of like little timestamps. Yeah.
Awesome. So you've played Cuba Duper and Newtown Fest. How's it playing those festivals for people down in Welly?
We're in the capital. It's the best city in the world. Pōneke, baby. Like, what do you mean?
Awesome.
Obviously, my name's Kenzie from Welly, but like there honestly is something really stirring in Pōneke at the moment in the arts. And like one of my OGs said to me back in the 90s when there was political unrest, it was artists that came together and helped people to digest some of the emotions, some of the injustice, and some of the stuff that's kind of hard for us to deal with. So I feel like a lot of artists are coming together from various different spaces, and we are beginning to see an emergence of something really special happening here again. Yeah.
100%.
Where would you say that your inspiration comes from?
Senses.
Yeah.
Having eyes, having ears, having thoughts, having feelings, and again, wanting to experience them and then let them go.
Before we go and listen to another one of your fantastic songs, do you have any upcoming gigs or anything that you want our audience to come along and watch you at?
Well, you're going to have to take the ride with me and you're going to have to see what's up. Again, nice, Kenzie from Welly. You can find me on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. And if you just stay with me, we have so much music that's about to be released. So come on a journey, yo.
Do you have any artists that have inspired you along your journey so far?
Heaps, but like to talk about some of the young local artists from the scene now, we have like Ma, she's incredible. We've got Casual Healing, Nico and his band. They're doing different things and they're doing it their way. You know, I think like in my generation, like there was a lot of very industry followed artistry procedures, but now we're starting to see things that are more organic and natural, and I just want to shout them out for that.
100%, that's awesome. Right, thank you so much for joining us, Kenzie. It's been amazing. We've had a great time talking to you about your new album, Greenstone Door. It's available to listen to on Spotify and other streaming platforms right now. So sit back and enjoy another awesome hit by Kenzie from Welly. This is No Hype.
They ask me, I used to doing that rapping thing. I say, relax, you seen the work done front like I ain't rap queen. Building my queen, them yo, go to small time dreaming. Look at accolades, I need my freedom. you taught me where to go when you ain't never been. You slept for too long, your momentum's too strong. Didn't wanna work, then your leeches just get gone. No hype, cause I ain't a fake MC. Yelling in the pain like me, call it fake. Recognize great timing. These rappers acting like they balls, like they been in the trees. And run their mouth like gossip girls, so their views will increase. Can't stand that. No hype, cause I ain't a fake MC. Yelling in the pain like me, call it fake. Recognize great timing. These rappers acting like they balls, like they been in the trees. And run their mouth like gossip girls, so their views will increase. Can't stand that. No hype, cause I ain't a fake MC. Yelling in the pain like me, call it fake. Recognize great timing. Hiding yourself, I know you're lurking. Online watching Missy, I'm working. You ride fake high behind the curtain. The streets talk, so I know for certain. I know for certain now you're tired of being a puppet. People pulling your strings. Still at the same level since you came on the scene.
Welcome back to Kickstart. That was the amazing music video for No Hype by Kenzie from Wally. Now, as a show that's being broadcast across the Motu, we thought it would be fun to have a look at some of the amazing places that make New Zealand unique. And what better way to do that than in the form of a game? Kyron, will you run us through the rules of the game?
Of course, Millie. So this game is called Out and About. It's a pretty simple game. I'll show you and Jacob a picture, and you'll have to guess where in Wellington it was from. After you guess, I'll reveal where it is, and the person with the closest guess gets 2 points. I'll have 2 clues available per round, but they cost you 1 point, so choose wisely. At the end of the game, the person with the most points will be the winner. So let's get started with our first round. Coming up with this one first, we have, where is this statue?
Oh, I've been there.
Been there? Well, you've got to remember where it is. If you want to take you want to be red, Millie, and you want to be green.
I've been there. I don't know. I don't know when or where, like where specifically.
She imagined it.
Is it? I think it's somewhere down in the South Island. Like,
just take a guess. You want to take a guess as well, Jacob?
Yeah,
I'll go the next round, bro.
Okay.
I'm just gonna like kind of stick it somewhere there, but.
Okay,
I
don't know where that is. I don't even know.
I wish I knew.
That's in the middle of somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere.
It is in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if we'll count that. This dog overlooks the majestic lake Tekapo, known for its unique turquoise watercourse by fine rock flow from glaciers. I don't actually...
See, I knew it was somewhere in this.
A bit...
I don't know if we count that.
Nah.
I don't think we count
not.
that. I'm so sorry. Anyway, moving on to the second round. Where is this beach?
Oh.
You know what? I think I know this one.
I think I might, but I don't know. I want to say 90 Mile. I want to go. Sorry, Millie.
Oh.
I want to go up north a bit.
Listen, Millie, if you want a hint for this, but don't give him a hint.
Is this? Okay, I'm gonna go 90 Mile up here. I'm hoping it's 90 Mile.
All the way up
there? Like a fool. I want to look like a fool.
Oh,
how's that?
Jeepers, moving the bloody thing. Well, this is the final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
This is dramatic Karakara Beach, west of Auckland. It was used in Jane's champion Oscar-winning film, The Piano. Really good film.
I think we can count
I almost wanted to give you that hint, but no, do we?
I think we can count it.
Across the board.
I'm in the right region. Okay.
This one will be, this one, I think you're going to get it. What location does this painting depict?
Is that Cass? Don't show me Cass. Oh, jeez. I wish I knew where Cass.
Quickly now.
No clue.
You still have,
I have no idea.
Quickly, come on.
Oh, go on.
Go on. Anywhere. Go.
Go.
For some reason, I'm going Blenheim, and I just am not confident in that at all.
Rita Angus painting Cass of the small town of Cass in Canterbury.
No.
It's unfortunate, and I think you both lost. To be honest, I think you all both. That brings us to the end of the game with 0 points across the board. We really need to bring someone who actually knows what they're talking about. But yeah, no winners today. Unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
I am a winner in my own regard.
Yeah, but.
That was a great game of Out and About. Next up is our event guide, where Kyron will bring you up to date with all that is happening around Aotearoa. Jacob and I are going to head up for prees. Kyron, take it away.
Nothing like a night out. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, guys. All right, so some events coming up. There is a New Zealand art show on May 29th to 31st at TSB Arena and Shed 6 in Wellington, featuring 300 plus New Zealand artists and 4,000 plus artworks. This is a major highlight for contemporary and traditional art and a way to connect with other artists. Australasia's only festival that is dedicated to full dome cinema at Space Place Carter Observatory. Wellington runs to 16th of May. Here you'll be watching Best of the Fest, screening featuring 8 films from Museum Victoria's 2026 festival lineup, including award-winning and highly commended films. Scottish singer-songwriter Katie Tunstall is celebrating the 20th anniversary, that's so long, of her album Eye to the Telescope. She'll be performing at the Power Station in Auckland on the 29th of May, and Meow Nui, I recently went there, in Wellington on the 30th. Wow, what an amazing lineup for the rest of this month. But moving on with tonight's show, I'm sure we'd all love a good night out to dance all our problems away. But do you know about how to stay safe while being out in town? If not, this next clip will explain it all to you.
Enjoying a drink is almost a rite of passage for uni students, a way to unwind, connect and celebrate. But the best nights are ones you actually remember. This is your guide to keeping it fun, safe and smart.
What makes a good night out? Having a good group of mates with you, always looking out for your backs, and you also looking out for their backs too. Making sure that everybody's staying nice and hydrated, especially if you're drinking.
We talked to some students about what makes a good night out and asked them to share their top tipsy tips.
I think that you need good music, good people, good food, but also making sure that you've had enough food before. The worst thing that you can do is save money by not eating a lot throughout the day.
Call your Uber, have some water, because sometimes it gets a bit crazy.
Eat some food, always eat food when you're drinking, before and after.
Oh yeah, we always line our stomachs.
Always.
Looking after your friends, even if you feel like your friends are always the one who's really annoying every week, it doesn't mean that you should still let them go out by themselves and leave them stranded. At the end of the day, safety does come first.
Always cover your drink. That's a hard reality these days. So just be aware of who's around you and what's happening.
The night out code is about respect for your mates, your night and yourself. Know it, share it, live it. The next time you head on out for a big night, remember the code.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Kickstart. We hope you have enjoyed your time, and we hope you'll tune in again next week because we have 3 new art pieces to talk about and 2 guests to discuss them with.
That's right, we're lucky enough to have Brian Wolper in to talk to us about his book Empathy and First Reserve in to talk about their song Alice. We will also be discussing the film Waru, which consists of 8 10-minute vignettes directed by 8 different Māori wahine.
That's all we have time for tonight's show. We hope you enjoyed our discussion about Pike River, our interviews with Kenzie and Mandy, and all about the rules of going out. And if you did, come back next week for more eye-catching media around and about the country. If you would like to stay up to date with all our past and present shows, follow us on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. From me and the crew at Kickstart, ka kite anō. That was awesome. Yes.